All right, let's go ahead and jump into one of our 49ers Report mailbags here on the Chat Sports 49ers only YouTube channel, of course, from one of our live Q&As on Thursday, 6 p.m. Guys, subscribers leaving a lot of comments. If you're a sub, then we're going to read your comment, hopefully answer it as well. And we'll go ahead and start with our first comment. It's from Dynamite, who says, hashtag 49ers, draft Zach Wilson. Okay, so let's just talk about drafting a quarterback right now. And I think this needs to be said. Everyone wants Zach Wilson because he's like the third quarterback on the list, and he's going to go inside the and he's like going to go pretty high. And people are saying, well, if you can't get obviously Trevor Lawrence, you can't get Justin Fields, then go ahead and get Zach Wilson. I would like Zach Wilson. I mean, honestly, at 12, it's that's maybe a real possibility. He's not going to be there at 12. So if you want Zach Wilson, you got to trade up to get Zach Wilson. And I don't like that idea. I would rather stay put and focus on defense or focus on offensive line or get a real player of need. I like Wilson again, but he's not going to be there at 12. And so if you want to draft him, you got to move up. And that's going to be tough to do based on the teams that are going to be in front of you who might want to take Zach Wilson instead, of course, the 49ers taking Zach Wilson, which is a whole different conversation. We'll go to Jamie Simpson, who says, are there any free agents the 49ers can bring in to replace Tartt if he leaves? Of course, Jaquiski Tartt is a free agent, played safety the majority of the year, was out with an injury for like a week or two. But yeah, I mean, listen, there are some pretty good free agents right now on the market that you potentially could see hit market. First is Justin Simmons from Denver. He's got to be the best. I mean, he's a top 3 guy at his position. He's really, really good for the Denver Broncos. Problem is, he's probably going to cost too much. So I would not rule Justin Simmons as a real possibility. But Anthony Harris had 6 picks in 2019, and with Minnesota, he's really good in coverage as well. You got Marcus May. He's a Jet. Very versatile. I wouldn't be surprised if Saul wants to keep Marcus May there with the New York Jets. And then Marcus Williams, who's really young. And even though he's 24, he's like 4 years of NFL experience. So there are some options. Obviously, the best one, like I said, Justin Simmons. But the odds of getting Justin Simmons is like next to nothing because Denver's going to re-sign him if they're smart. If they're not, then maybe it's the open market. But you never know with Denver right now. Who really knows? Pick one, though. If you guys want a free agent safety, let me know which one you guys want. JS for Justin Simmons, AH for Anthony Harris, MM for Marcus May, and then, of course, MW for Marcus Williams. Not Modern Warfare. Get that out of your head, little gamers out there. I know who you guys are. Let me know what you guys think right now down below in the comments section. We'll go back to some more questions here. Let's see. Let's go and do Brandon with a super chat. Brandon, super chat right to the front. I appreciate you. 49ers, do you think the 49ers make a big offseason move, free agents draft, or trade? Ooh, if you're asking me which of the three, I would have to say trade. Because I think if the Niners are going to do anything crazy in the draft, then they would take a quarterback at 12. But like I said, I don't think Zach Wilson's going to be there. So I would bet the Niners would make a trade for a quarterback, whether that's Watson or Wentz or Stafford or somebody else. As we talked about Kirk Cousins earlier. But with that being said, if they do make a trade, then the draft dies. Because like you literally have very few draft picks, none in the first round. So you got to kind of pick your poison. You want draft picks or you want to go ahead and trade for a quarterback. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they did trade for a quarterback. I mean, we talked about a lot how they like Garoppolo, they want to keep Garoppolo, but there are a couple of good quarterbacks that will be on the market, including Deshaun Watson. I think they at least try. And if they try, then maybe they try hard for somebody who's not named Deshaun Watson if they can't obviously afford Deshaun Watson. Next question here comes from Cody. Super chat from Cody. I appreciate you. Right to the front of the chat, he says, how bad will Saleh leaving hurt our defense? I've thought about this because there is like a legitimate concern because Robert Saleh, I think we all can agree, was a great defensive coordinator and the guys love him. But I think the replacement of DeMeco Ryans really shored up my fear of having a bad defense without Robert Saleh. Because when you look at a guy like DeMeco Ryans, not only did he work under Robert Saleh, he's a former linebacker and he used to call defensive plays with both the Texans and the Eagles. So I'm all for DeMeco Ryans. I think he's going to be great. I don't think they still have it all. And really, if they're healthy this year, they're going to be better than what Saleh's defense was last year just because Saleh's defense was all banged up. So I like Ryans. I don't foresee growing pains. The defense is built for the long term, and they have a lot of great young pieces. Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, you're going to be pretty good, right? I mean, that's kind of safe to say overall. But let me know if you guys agree with me on that. But I really think that DeMeco Ryans is going to be just fine. So, no, I'm really not concerned overall. Next question here comes from, actually, quickly, make sure you guys are subscribed to the 49ers Report. Let me know if you guys are. Like all you guys watching right now and watching later on when we post this to the channel should be a subscriber, right? Type Y down below if you are a subscriber. Type N down below if you are not a subscriber. So if you type N, though, it's like, come on. Like what are you doing? Like, you like the channel or not? If you do, then go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button. A lot of Y's coming in. I appreciate you guys for that as we are less than 200 subs away from 32,000 subscribers. And so make sure you guys are subscribed down below. That way you are notified whenever we drop the latest videos here on the 49ers Report. There's super chat, man. They got these super chats going right to the front here. So Daniel says, how can we get Wentz you think it'll be worth it? You can get Wentz by trading for him. I mean, right now, Philadelphia, of course, signed the new head coach, Nick Sirianni, from the offensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts. Their attempt to do that is to keep Carson Wentz. They want to keep Carson Wentz. But Wentz is frustrated, and he could very easily officially announce that he wants to trade, and then it's open business. It's an open market. And I don't think you're going to get a first-round draft pick for Carson Wentz if you're Philadelphia. Maybe a second. I think a second is a real possibility. So I think it'd take a second and a fifth, and that would get it done once Wentz officially announces he wants to be traded, because he hasn't officially said it yet. He can mend the relationship and come back to Philadelphia, and then you can't get him. But if that relationship is over, and there are reports that potentially it is, then I think a second and a fifth could be enough to go ahead and trade for the young but former superstar quarterback. Remember, 2017 was really, really good. Go to Frisco Boss, who says, is there a cheap free agent offensive tackle other than Trent Williams? No, there really isn't, at least not in terms of the overall skill of Trent Williams. If you wanted to replace Trent Williams this offseason, you draft somebody like an Alex Leatherwood, or maybe you move up to get a Penny Sewell out of Oregon. He's the best offensive lineman in the NFL draft. In terms of cheap free agents, no, at least none that are going to be better. And that's the key there, because you want someone at least as good, if not better. Go to NC Dorado, says, trade for Marshawn Lattimore. Saints in big trouble with their cap availability. Call it for Pats Gilmore in a third. We didn't talk about Marshawn Lattimore in my trade video the other day, but I guess it's a possibility. They want to keep him. He's young, but he is expensive. And as you said, the Saints have the worst cap situation in the NFL. They're like minus 90 in the cap. Now, Drew Brees coming off and retiring will help that a little bit, but still, it's a lot of money that they need to go ahead and shore up. And I would not be surprised if the Saints are doing a couple of trades overall just to kind of free up some space a little bit. So go to Ryan right now, who says, pick at 12, move back and get more draft capital next year. Depends who's there. If Surtain or Farley, Caleb Farley, both cornerbacks are there, stay and take the cornerback. If they're both gone, which there's a chance that they might, I think for sure Surtain's going to be gone. If he's gone, get me out of there. I mean, for sure, because there are other places that you can go ahead and find to get, worse cornerbacks at later spots, pick up more draft picks. But I would like a corner. I think they stay put and take a corner if they're available. All right, unfortunately, the Niners are not playing this weekend, but I am curious who you guys got in this one, Tampa Bay or Green Bay. I'm picking Green Bay. I'm typing GB down below just because I think Rodgers has the best football team he's had basically his entire career. I mean, he's been very, very good overall. But it's just, I don't know, it's hard to root against Tampa Bay. Tom Brady is defying the odds, and he's just so darn good overall. Man, really, really good. Also, you guys want a full breakdown of the upcoming AFC and NFC title games, we got you guys covered on our Chat Sports main YouTube channel. Just go Chat Sports TV on the YouTube link. Just go up below. But you guys should be subscribed to them anyway if you like the NFL, because they got a ton of great stuff over there. Daily NFL videos with the guys. They also have great 2021 draft coverage, which I was a part of last year. I think we had a million people watching our draft show on YouTube. It's crazy. Also, live shows like this, very interactive, of course, with the live shows, and then always troll their fan bases and show that, your 49ers are the best team overall. So you should subscribe to them for more free and very interesting overall NFL coverage with our friends over there at Chat Sports main channel. And you guys should, of course, go ahead and subscribe to them. Let's go to our super chat here. Let's see. Where's this next one coming from? Cody, another super chat right at the front. Hypothetical trade. Bosa and a first for Watson. Worth it? Disclaimer, I wouldn't. There's been a lot of talk about the Watson trade. What would it take? I did a video on this, and I got ripped for it. I said it will take 2 firsts and Nick Bosa to do it. And everyone's saying, no, that's so expensive. There's no way. Yes, I'm telling you, everything I have read indicates that Watson will take 3 firsts. It's 3 firsts or a player of a first-round caliber, like Fred Warner, like Nick Bosa. So 2 firsts plus Bosa equals 3. It's simple math. I'm telling you, it would cost more than what you're saying, Cody, which is then the real question, is it worth it? I mean, I don't know. If you go to a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo, then you don't make the trade. If you don't think you can ever go back to the Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo, then you make the trade. It's all comes down to winning and losing. And if you think you can win with a quarterback not named Deshaun Watson, then you don't do it. If you don't trust Watson, you make the trade. You live without having first-round draft picks and hope that the team is good enough without them. Matthew says draft Israel Muka. I always mess up pronouncing his name. It's like Mukamu, however you say his last name. That one's tough. I can't even give you an answer on that one just yet. I would say no at the moment, but at the same time, when these guys go to the combine and they have a good combine show out and a good interview, then anyone is possible to go ahead and draft them. So there's always a possibility. Jay says sign Chris Godwin in free agency. Do you need Chris Godwin? Maybe. He needs to be expensive though, because he had a really good year 2 years ago. He's been injured on and off, but pretty good with Brady. I think Brady's going to want him to go ahead and come back, because Brady's coming back for another year in Tampa based on Fox Sports' Jake Glazer. I take a look, but I think it'd be a little bit expensive overall, and that's kind of my issue with most of the free agents. The Niners don't have that much cap space to navigate, which we all understand is always the issue. Next question here comes from, how do you think our wide receiver core will be in 2021? Good follow-up question here. Good. I mean, I think even without adding somebody, as long as Jalen Hurd plays, Debo, Jalen Hurd, Brandon Ayuk, it's pretty good 1-2-3 punch. We'll see what they do with Kendrick Bourne in free agency. Obviously, Trent Taylor probably going to walk. I mean, I think they need somebody else if Hurd never becomes available or never gets healthy. But the expectation is Jalen Hurd comes back and is healthy and is good to go. And if that's the case, then I'm all for it. I think it's fun. Like seriously, let's just rock and roll. I mean, it's fantastic. Quickly, AFC title game, Buffalo versus KC. I love the Bills, and I think the Bills are really fun. But Mahomes has already been practicing. He practiced today with his helmet. Like, he's going to play. And if he plays, don't count out the Chiefs. Don't count out Big Red Andy Reid. Give me the Chiefs in this one. Type KC down below. And, of course, preview for this game as well is up with our friends on the main Chat Sports YouTube channel. Get a great preview here of the AFC title game, so make sure you guys check that out and subscribe over there because, again, great breakdowns and great overall NFL videos on the main Chat Sports YouTube channel for great previews if you guys are getting ready for the weekend. Sugar Shane, $5 super chat. He sacks drafting. Man, the players in the draft, they're so hard to say. Ojulari is how you say this guy's name. I believe is how I have heard it pronounced. Ojulari is also how I've heard it. So, welcome to the NFL draft. We got to figure out how to pronounce half these guys' names. Again, I'm not exactly thrilled with his future prospect, let's just say on the 49ers, but anybody can blow anybody out at a combine. If you do well at the combine and the players like you, then sure, I'm all for it. How about this next question? This one's fun. Frank Gore is our third running back. Remember Frank Gore? Jeez, I think it was he playing when I was born? He'd been playing for like 20 years, so I was like 4. I remember being a kid and watching Frank Gore play, which is crazy. No, I'd rather not, honestly. They have young, good backs in Wilson and Hasty. I'd rather be younger than, 50 years old at running back. But the guy can still play, which is nuts. So, shout out to Frank Gore for still being a baller. But at the same time, man, a little too old for me.